I'm still in a dream because Snake Eater never ends. So I looked back through some of my footage and I realized that not only did I not actually show off the weapon that you get for playing on very easy, I never actually took a look at the I like MGS1 option. Of course, we're going to pick very easy. So there's a bit of misinformation about what happens when you pick I like MGS1.
East and West.
I'm not sure where it started, but I noted that at the end of the game, there's a picture of Naked Snake clean shaven, which is something we don't ever see. And yeah, the rumor is that if you pick I like MGS1, Snake will be clean shaven like he was in MGS1, Twin Snakes, like what happens when you give Snake the shaver in Metal Gear Solid 2. I think that would have been a cool option, but unfortunately we'll see very quickly here that that's not the case. It was planned for Metal Gear Solid 4 to actually have real-time beard growth, where over the course of the game, the longer it took, the more of a rugged look Snake would take on. Unfortunately, they never implemented that. I think it would be fun if in future installments of the series they just had a secret post-game option that was a beard slider. You know, level 0, clean-shaven, you know. Then you could choose like the MGS2 stubble or the MGS3 full beard. I don't know. We've got the technology to do that nowadays. Wouldn't be even that difficult. But yeah, as you can see, Snake over there, he's got his splitter face paint and indeed a full glorious beard. So yeah, no way to be clean shaven.
Jack, I've got some important news.
We'll skip the cutscenes. We'll watch this one though, just so you can see him take off his helmet and see the beard in all its glory. This game came out before beards became fashionable for men. There's been multiple times in history where beards were in fashion and then sort of fell out of fashion. I'm not really sure what the stance is now. It's not too odd to have a beard nowadays. I think it is still pretty common, but it's not necessarily fashionable. Based on nothing at all, but I like to think that this game maybe had a part in making beards cool.
We'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking.
Yep. There we go. High altitude, low opening. I know I pointed it out before.
Once we've confirmed the rescue circle,
But yeah, the Fox logo on the parachute, I mean, it's very funny. We make such a big deal about not leaving any traces, and yet here we are with a corporate branding of our unit. Oh yeah, I've said it every time, but we'll get very familiar with that in the future.
It's been combat-proof.
Hey, Zero.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
Well, he's a scrawny guy, so...
Going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
So this plane, I don't think I mentioned it, but we'll be seeing something similar to this in Metal Gear Solid 4, and because the plane is so similar, now I'm not an aviation expert, I actually know next to nothing about aircraft. But because the plane in MGS4 is named, I always want to call this by the name of that plane. Yep, there he goes. Parachuting in, very similar to the opening to Metal Gear NES. I might have mentioned that. I also mentioned how I won't be playing the NES or MSX games. I took another look at them to see if that's even a possibility in the future, and honestly, I just don't like the puzzles, like the solutions to them. They're very obtuse. So it would have to be something that either I practice extensively or play with a guide. I don't know. I'm open to the idea in the future, but I mean, You know, as weird as the 3D games get, oh boy, those 8-bit 2D games, they were not for humans. They were definitely from an era where the way you would combat software piracy was just having really, really strange puzzles. Ah, there's that handsome, handsome, rugged man. But yes, as you can see, he indeed has a full beard during the Virtuous mission. Again, I think it would have been cool. Maybe they'll put something like that in the remake. I'm sure that there at least will be mods. There's already mods for the Master Collection on Steam that have things like Snake with no beard. Another thing I'll be doing is showing off the original camera in these areas in the Virtuous mission. Because even though I primarily played with the subsistence camera, the third-person controllable camera, I noticed towards the end of my gameplay, I'm actually more comfortable with the fixed camera angle, which I guess isn't too surprising. I come from an era before right-stick camera control was the standard. I never quite adapted to it. Yep, we're skipping through all of these. Amazing how much faster it goes when you just skip the cutscenes. Granted, this game has some really, really good cutscenes, so I don't often like to skip them. But yes, here in our inventory, we don't even have to go into our backpack, is the Easy Gun. It's a special silent tranquilizer gun. Press square to aim, release to fire. Keeps camo index high and recovers stamina when equipped. So yes, simply having this equipped, you can see our camo index is at 80. It will never drop below 80, but I believe you can make it go higher. It might be locked at 80, I'm not sure. In addition to that, aiming it, you can see it functions very similar to the M9 in Metal Gear Solid 2. It's got this sort of off to the side and laser aiming module situation. Let's tranquilize this snake. Because yes, it is also a tranquilizer. And it has infinite suppressor, though it's more accurate to say it fires subsonic ammunition. And in addition to that, infinite ammo. So it's very easy, as the name implies. If we take a look at it in our viewer, you can see it's basically a Liberator, which is a very small type of handgun, but with the laser sight built in a way that I don't know if is physically possible. Oh, it also eliminates footstep noise. Okay, so strangely enough, I mean, it's kind of like playing Metal Gear Solid 2. You know, something else I actually never used was the directional mic, which is pretty much identical to the one in MGS2. We can use it to hear the sounds of nature or guards and such. It's interesting. It definitely works better if you're playing the game with headphones on. You can use it against the end. But what does picking I like Metal Gear Solid 1 do? If not, you know, make us clean shaven? Well, what it does is it makes your stamina depletion much, much, much less. Only in the Virtuous mission, however. It's a bit of a way to, I guess, ease the player into the idea of stamina and managing that. Metal Gear Solid 1, of course, did not have stamina. It didn't even have a grip gauge because you couldn't flip over rails. You can see these camera angles are actually quite good. They're very cinematic. I really like fixed camera angles like old Resident Evil and such because of this very curated cinematic look that it gives you. Something that, you know, swinging around a camera like this, I've seen so many people miss things or just make gameplay look bad because they have the camera set to the highest speed and swing it around and ugh. Not just in this game, in many games. Hey. They're not going to say anything. So, the reason I have my shirt off is because your stamina depletes much faster, shirtless. Listen to the bees. Yep, welcome to the jungle. We got lots of bees. We got some gators here too, but mostly we got bees. It's not just because it looks and feels good, although it does look good and feel good. But you can see my stamina is yet to go down. We're also playing on very easy, so it would go down much slower anyway, and I'm trying to make sure I don't equip the easy gun because that will recover our stamina. So let's actually equip the Hush Puppy. Yep, there he is without a shirt. I may have mentioned this, but the remake actually features some DLC for additional costumes, most of which are based on Peace Walker. But there is one that is a shirtless variant where he's actually got like the splitter pattern on his body as well. Looks pretty cool. It'll be tempting to play the whole game like that, not gonna lie. If you've watched my New Game Plus video where I kind of show off the weapons I didn't really get a chance to use, unfortunately, there's no access to the M63 in the Virtuous mission or anytime really early on in Operation Snake Eater. But, I mean, it's quite fun. It's a very cool weapon. Not only because of Snake's manly yell, but, you know, the box mag gets 500 bullets, so you can go through most of the game with it. Alright. Moving very slow also consumes stamina very quickly. But as you can see, oh, we've only just lost a little tiny bit.
No, wait!
Right up on our meter there. So it's definitely a much, much, much slower rate than usual. We're gonna hold him up just because it's fun. I'm sure I showed this off, but if I didn't deliberately show it off, shooting their radio, even with a tranquilizer gun, will break it.
Freeze.
There we go. Yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna play up to Sokolov. Why is that? Honestly, just because this game's really fun. Here's some fruit here. So, the easy gun, I mean, you've seen that my stamina will deplete just very, very slow. So let's equip it and make use of its honestly hilariously broken properties. So yeah, he can just barely hear us. It's very funny. He didn't see us at all. It's a genuinely really silly weapon. And yeah, it knocks people out immediately, no matter where you shoot them. So if you like this, but you don't want to play on very easy, you know, actually thinking of it, I'm not sure if it's that it knocks them out immediately, no matter where you hit them, or if it's just because enemies have much lower stamina. But if you like this weapon, and you want to use it on other difficulties, there is a way to do that. Oh, and you can see my stamina's already recovered from what we lost prior. Not that it was much, but yes, just to prove that this does indeed replenish stamina. But if you want to unlock this weapon for other difficulties, there is a way to do it. You can only get it New Game Plus, and you have to capture, not eat, but capture, i.e. pick up every food item. That includes plants, animals, calorie mate, and special animals, such as the Tsuchinoko, En's parrot, and the special snakes in the flower field that you fight the boss in. So it's a bit of an ask. I've never actually done it, personally. You can also get the stealth camouflage by shooting all 64 Keraton figures. I did that once back in college, and it is an undertaking. I essentially saved every single area just in case. There's only 2 places that the Keraton's hard to get. Most areas, it's pretty easy, but the see, like right there, Prince Charming. I guess that's the first one I shot. But yes, it's relatively easy to get in most areas. It's just a couple problem areas during the chase sequence. Yeah, you could just barely see them escaping there. Back in that day, back in those days, I had a roommate, and the first couple days we knew each other. We were both kind of quiet kids, didn't really talk much. But then one day I busted out I was just sort of bored, didn't have any classes that day or the next day, so I crack open my Super NES 9X, start playing Rockman and Forte, and boy, he changed immediately. His eyes lit up, and he was like, "Oh my god, I didn't know it was like that." And I was like, "Oh, cool." Turned out he also really liked this game, Metal Gear Solid 3, so we ended up being pretty good friends early on. I think we actually co-opted getting the Kerotons. Like, we might have shared a save file or something, but yeah, we both had never actually done it. We knew, I knew from the strategy guide, and I think he said he read it on like Game FAQs or something. So we ended up getting them, and the stealth in this game is pretty interesting. It's not 100% stealth at all times, and it has a bit of an electricity effect sometimes, like the fears. If I remember correctly, I think when you activate it, it has a little electric shock effect. But yeah, it's something I would like to do again at some point, and definitely something I'll be trying in the remake. Hello. Again, they can't really hear us. Oh, well, they can because we've got the Hush Puppy. So yeah, you notice, even though it's a tranquilizer gun, we use the iron sights with the Hush Puppy. In Twin Snakes, that wasn't the case. The M9 was like this, so if you're more used to those, the easy gun is definitely the way to go. Again, I wish it wasn't so difficult to get on the higher difficulties. Though I suppose you could just play on very easy, capture everything, make a new game plus file for like normal, and do it like that. Would be nice if it was just like an option. Yep. There's that man there. He can't see us. Yep, go to sleep. I don't know if I really showed this off either. I think I might have shown it with Emma. But yeah, in the first... I almost said the first 3 games. That's not technically correct in any way. But in 2 Twin Snakes, and of course Snake Eater, if you shoot tranquilizers at dudes, you can just see that they get absolutely loaded up with them. I mean, this man's never going to wake up again. That's not very healthy. I think 4 has it as well, but, you know, like, look at these. That is a lot of tranquilizer. That is, ugh. In 4, actually, I am remembering they're much smaller. And yeah, you can see this overhead view. I mean, some people really don't like it. I am genuinely having an easier time with this. Again, it helps that I'm on very easy and using the easy gun. But anyway, here is Sokolov. So I think that's enough of a look at very easy, and I like MGS1. As you saw, yeah, even when I didn't have the easy gun equipped, my stamina barely went down. So, yeah, a bit of a crutch to understanding the stamina system. Yep, burn those away.
You must be Sokolov.
He is.
Are you one of Volkin's men?
Well, I am shirtless, but, you know,
You'll never get it from me.
doesn't mean I'm his man. Oh, you meant like his soldiers, oh.
I've come
Well,
to
this is
escort you
awkward.
back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
Alright. I'll see you next time for some monkey business.
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago. He's a member